the Palitoy sensor scope. And we've got IG-88, Imperial Commander, 2 Hans there, Han Bespin, Han Hoth. And we've got the YPS Snowtrooper. That's impossible to find. I had a chance of buying one loose graded, but I don't know, just sort of. Then we've got the 2 layers. I want to focus on this. I've got quite a few of these ones. I've got that on our German Empire Strikes Back card and the Kenner 77 back. Now I have gotten this profile picture as well, or the side view. So that one's really hard to find. $200 for that, $190 for that. You've got the 2 variations of Luke. The tri-logo picture on the Luke Bespin is different. So Luke Bespin has the most variations out of the vintage figures. And we have the Hoth Romper, the Hoth Rescue play set that was only sold in Europe. I have that. And then we have a few other things, the mini rigs, the Sears Cloud City, Snowspeeder, Trimpol Cloud Car, Return of the Jedi figures. There's a 2-pack there. I've just come across one of those myself, and it's on my channel, so that's worth checking out because they're really rather hard to find. And then there's another 2-pack there. Tattoo on Palitoy card. That Medane's on the Palitoy card. You can tell by the extra writing at the top and no Kenner logo. Then you've got more Luke Jedi there. You've got the B-Wing pilot 88. Han. 2 variations of Han. You've got the camouflage lapel and the plain lapel. I haven't got the camouflage lapel yet. Katuan Skiff, Prune Face, great figure there. Teebo, the Italian glue stick Teebo there, strange offer there. Wicket, Rancor, ships, the Max Rebo 3 set, the Jabba Dungeon, the TIE Interceptor, Power of the Force, Anakin there. That's priced at 3,800 on the Power of the Force card, the Anakin. So that's more valuable than the Yak Face in the Power of the Force card. Amana Man, Han Solo in the carbonate chamber. Luke Stormtrooper. Look how the bubble always goes yellow on that figure. The Yak Face, that's only available in the Canadian cards. That's the 93rd figure, or you can get on Tri-Logo. Tri-Logo is $400. Power of the Force is $1,850. But obviously that's 11 years ago. Then we've got Droids accessories, including the A-Ring, Droids figures. These are valued at $20 each. This one size from is $115. Then we've got Logray. I hope this video is recording then. Because I'm rabbiting on. Then we go into Power of the Force 2 figures, and it's the same layout, freeze frame, you know, so it's a really interesting book for the sort of early days of modern collecting, plus of course the vintage figures. So you've got the Jawa with the Comtech, you've got the Jawa 2-pack with the bot, you've got Luke Skywalker, you've got Luke Farmboy there, you've got Rancor Keeper, Princess Leia, you've got the Leia Slave, Leia Hoth, the few R2-D2 Snowtrooper, Yak Face, the new version of Yak Face, and then Reuse, he's quite pricey, not too pricey though. Roha, I need to get him, he's in a Comtech card, Zuckus. Then you've got the vehicles, 3-packs, Complete Galaxy or whatever they're called, the ones that are in little environments, the Bantha, the Dewback, the Rancor, the Wanto, electronic figures, Epic Force, the Jabba's Band, figures with coins, accessory packs, environment packs, the Princess Leia collection, AT-AT, Cruise Missile Trooper, A-Wing, the Darth Raiders, the Land Speeder, AT-ST. You've got so much stuff in this book. Y-Wing, the Big X-Wing, Spirit of Obi-Wan. This is in the UK packaging. I have that on YouTube. Still need to get the Theatre Luke there. Shadows of the Empire. So This is the Shadows of the Empire. I'd be looking for the European, especially the Italian cards. They look much better. And you've got the Expanded Universe figures. You've got the Space Trooper. I need that one still. And you've got Episode 1 stuff. And then it goes on and on. Prices are just out of date though. Prices of, from a lot of modern stuff just dropped so much. So you know, like the 2-packs and stuff like that. TC14 is a bit hard to track down. So you've got the creature accessory packs, playset environment ships. Some of these have just been re-released. What do you call them? Not swoops, you call them. And then you've got more Epic Falls. You've got stuff from Japan. You've got the Power of the Jedi stuff. These are much better figures. Nice cards. Oops, my hand slipped. Power of the Jedi. So you've got Power of the Jedi is when things really started to get really nice. So you've got R2Q5. I've just put him up on YouTube. Wara, he's worth tracking down. This figure comes in the game Escape from Theed pack, so he's worth tracking down. Biker Scout, Sand Trooper, Tessic or Squid Head, the Snow Speeder, and all that other stuff there. And then it has a little bit about Micronauts at the back. So this originally must have cost about a tenner. I got it for about £3 on eBay. And I'm sure the guy who sold it still has them. So I'm going to just check if this video works. Hopefully it did, otherwise I've just been rabbiting on for a long time going through this book. So it's easy to find on eBay in the UK. It's only about £3. It's called Collector's Guide 2001 and it's by Harold Niedermeyer. And I think the guy who's selling them still got quite a lot of them. And so altogether it's going to cost you about £4 or £5 maximum, because he's going to include in shipping or posting. And it's a reasonable book. Some of the English is a bit poor because it's been translated directly from German, so there's quite a few grammatical errors in this book, but otherwise it's useful. It's a European book and there's not too many European specific books, and it's in the areas it covers, it does quite an adequate job, so it's not a bad book, and it's not too big as well. So it's easy to carry around, easy to just stick your nose in and browse. So it's quite a useful book. And I'm just going to check the video if it works. So, and this was on sale in the States, I definitely know that. It's published by Star Toys. So there you go. Okay, next book I want to show you is the official price guide to Star Wars and Star Trek collectibles, 3rd edition. I got this back in '93, and this really sort of inspired me to get back into Star Wars collecting. It's by Sue Cornwall and Mike Knott. I've shown you a later version of this book, which is just that deals with Star Wars, but this is the book that really got me back into Star Wars collecting back in '93. And so half the book's about Star Trek and the other half is about Star Wars. So it's quite an old book. Came out originally in 1991 and it's mostly in black and white, but it's a really useful book. It's really you know, from a novice position, this really gave me a good grounding in the basics of Star Wars collecting, and you know, so it's got quite a lot of information where to buy and all that sort of stuff. Then it goes and starts onto Star Trek. So this book's, even though it's totally out of date, is quite sentimental to me, because this was the book that got me into Star Wars collecting. And you've got the Star Trek aliens, so you've got quite a lot about Star Trek, and it's not just action figures, it's magazines, it's books, it's badges, it's just everything to do with Star Trek. And you've got to remember, back in those days, Star Trek was just as big as Star Wars, if not bigger. And so, maybe Star Trek still is bigger. And you've got all the different things. And glasses, and so the Star Wars section is going to be exactly the same. The middle of the book, it has a few colour pictures, and so you've got Star Trek pictures there, you've got some of the figures there, including Mego figures, then the collector plates, then you've got Star Trek games at the top there, and more Star Trek stuff, and then you've got Franklin Mint ships and more just Enterprise focus ships at the bottom. So really interesting if you're into Star Trek, and I've always liked Star Trek as well. Then we go into the Star Wars pictures. We've got the Star Wars toys and games. We've got the laser pistol. You've got the battle game there. You've got the Escape from Silent Pit and all that sort of stuff. Then you've got the ships from Star Wars, the original vintage ships. Then you've got gold coins. Those cost a fortune now. And R2-D2 focus here. Okay, it's got the Power of the Force R2-D2 there, the original 84.5 version. Then you've got ceramics, items, and then the posters. And so we're still in the Star Trek section there, and then we're going to come up on the Star Wars section. You're going to see I've ticked off a few things that I've acquired over the years. So it starts with action figures there, and it gives you a few pictures at the bottom. This was really what just got me hooked onto Star Wars collecting. And then you've got all the different figures. So most of this I did back in the mid-90s when I collected all the figures and carded and just ticked off what I had and stuff like that. So this is probably now just half of what I've got in terms of vintage, but you know. And then you've got a picture there of 4 of the rare figures: the Anakin, the Yak Face, the Blue Snaggletooth, and the common red Snaggletooth. So it's quite interesting, this book, and you know, I'm sure you could pick it up on eBay pretty cheap now. Got foreign cards. You've got the Lily Lede Mexican figure card backs. They're really hard to get, totally hard. The Brazilian Gaslighty figures. I've got a Luke on that card. You've got the Japanese Poppy book boxes. I haven't got any of those yet. And then we've got the Palitoy Imperial Commander. So it does with figures, then it goes into the ships, play sets, then it goes into bumper stickers, art books, magazine articles, all that sort of stuff. Comics here. Got lots of the comics. Well, I've got the whole set of the US Marvels. Took ages to collect that. And then there's the British versions, which are even harder to collect, which or probably impossible to get the whole British set. Then you've got West End games, you know, role-playing games. They're pretty good. I had Assault on Hoth. That was great fun. Still got that somewhere. And you've got more bits and bobs, magazines, model kits. You know, hopefully this is recording, otherwise I'm wasting my time. It's just this 16 megabit card. I thought it would give me a lot of time to make longer videos, but it's just proving to be a pain in the jacksie, because I don't know, there's just too many faults on playback with this 16 megabit card or gigabyte card. Oh well. And then you've got school equipment. Some of the Helix school equipment's going for mega money on eBay these days. Not that I've got any. Then you've got the TIE Bomber, always one of the holy grails of Star Wars collecting. Finally last year got a loose TIE Bomber. And then you've got just trading cards, a bit about them two, the two that wrote this book. And then, you know, in the US it was originally $10.95, in Canada $15. Got this in Forbidden Planet in '93. Great book. So really useful. This is what really helped kick me off, plus the likes of these magazines here, which are the Lee's Toy Review. These are really useful magazines, give you so much information. Hard to get now in the UK, but back in those days they weren't too hard to get, and really useful. Not just Star Wars, they have loads of other stuff, you know. So this one's a bit old, it's about 10-12 years old, but you know, it shows you how to customize figures, Street Fighter figures, the Skiff, so it shows you how old this is for Power of the Force. And then what's good about this magazine is the price guide, so the context with the new figures there, the green contact cards. And then good looking at the old adverts for how much vintage figures were then, and then if you get a later update of this magazine, Hot Toys, and then tells you here's the price guide itself, the Star Wars price guide, really useful. And here's the actual Star Wars price guide, out of date now, but it's really a useful, comprehensive list. Always with Lees, they've always been a bit poor on the Tri-Logo cards. They've always undervalued them. And you've got that there. So this is your Lees action figure news. So if you can get it in the US, I'd thoroughly recommend this magazine. It's really useful. Good. Then it goes on to other toy lines in alphabetical order. Has a section, a massive section for Hot Wheels as well. And so, really good magazine. If I could still get in the UK at a decent price, I'd still pick it up, but it's really hard to get these days. So, and then there's this magazine as well, which is Tomart's version, and this doesn't have a comprehensive price guide, but it has lots of nice glossy pictures, and you know, has Brian's Toys advert there. This is probably about 10 years old at least, so it has the Kill Bill figures there, and maybe it's a bit more recent. And then Turtles, G.I. Joe, lots about G.I. Joe, and you know, not that I'm much of a G.I. Joe collector. I had the UK versions, the Action Men, and then we have more. So if you're into G.I. Joe, this makes it all wrestling figures. Always has something about Star Wars. Indiana Jones. So if you wanted to get Indiana Jones figures, you could use this. And then it's got the LG Lin figures, Dragon Ball Z, and then Star Wars, what we all love. So you've got the sort of Cartoon Network Clone Wars figures there, and some of the last sort of saga figures there, and then more adverts. Most of the pages are in colour. There's an advert for that book I've just shown you, the collector's book. So this was on sale in the US, and it was $12.99 in the US. And more adverts there for Star Wars stuff, and adverts for girly action figures, model figures, and then other lines. So, you know, quite useful. This one here is a really old Lees. It's from number 57. Don't know if it's from July 97. So, you know, Star Wars was just, you know, so we've got Spawn figures there. Lots of Spawn figures. So if you're into Spawn or G.I. Joe, you've got Tuskegee Airmen. You've got All-Star, whatever that is. I'm not really into sports stuff. Then you've got some other figures there. AFIA info. The Spawn movie figures. They're pretty cool. Then you've got an advert for Outer Limits. What else have you got? You've got Go Figure. So you can tell this is an old one because it's got not glossy paper in it. You've got Star Wars advert there for who's this guy? Well, custom carded figures there, plus the prices of mint figures there. It's amazing how cheap they were then, the vintage figures. So this is how the old magazine was about 15 years ago. G.I. Joe price guide there, starting lineup. Then you've got the Star Wars price guide here. I've ticked off what I've got there, quite a lot of stuff. So this would need updating really. But if you look at the prices, let's look at the prices of the original 12 backs. So you see Luke with blonde hair was $350. The Princess Leia was $310, and on $350 on the Jedi card. The Han Solo small head was $515, and the big head was $595. So Jawa plastic vinyl cake Jawa was $1,800 in those days, according to Lee's. So there you go. And it's starting to move on to the 95 figures, Tamagotchi stuff, remember those? Big hobby, the Stormtrooper with the hologram, that was meant to be hard to find back in the day. The Hong Kong pack, the ASP7 droid, the Electronic Emperor, the 12-inch figures, the Dengar, Power of the Force. So it always has Star Wars update, and then it's goes back to more on Spawn, which was big in the mid-90s. More Spawn, and then letters people would send in, and more Spawn. So that's that magazine. And then the last one I want to show you is a British magazine. It's called, from '97, it's called Model and Collector's Mart. This one's out of publication now, they don't publish it anymore. It cost originally £2, and it has a lot about model kits and stuff like that, and sci-fi, but it has a good science fiction section. And let's see if we can find the here's the science fiction part. So it's got something about the Micro Machine playsets there, and some of the Power of the Force figures, the band member that you have to send away for, the R2-D2 electronic, what's going on buddy, Saga memorabilia. So you know, back in those days. And then sometimes you can check in here the UK adverts for selling vintage Star Wars figures, quite useful, and stuff that it's really expensive now, in those days wasn't so expensive, like the Harbour Italian figures. I wish I bought them back then, if I'd known how much they were going to be worth now, because they were pretty cheap. I can't find any adverts here, but so you got this magazine's divided into like model kits, military, science fiction, and then it goes on to let's see what Star Wars. This is from TV Toy Zone. So this is where I got that Gamorrean guard on the I'm not sure if it was from there, but I think I bought something. So you got here, they're selling Spanish Star Wars figures on Return of the Jedi cards. Okay, here we've got a Tri-Logo Snowtrooper, and I've been after this figure I've always wanted a Tri-Logo Snowtrooper. I've only ever had one other Snowtrooper, and that's on a Palitoy card, and I bought that back in '93, really cheap one for about £7 back in those days. So that's those prices in them days, but now you're going to pay a lot more. This one comes up once or twice a year. There's another one on eBay now in the UK from the same seller. That's a AFA 75 as well. He says that one's slightly better condition. I mean, what's most special about this Snowtrooper, Laugh It Up Fuzzball should know, is that it's or AFA have deemed it the YPS Snowtrooper because of the sculpt of the body. It's kind of more, looks like it's cut out of a harder plastic than the earlier versions of the Snowtrooper, and if you notice, the legs are quite wide apart, and the actual cape is slightly different. It has, instead of slits where it attaches to the hooks on the side of his body, it has round holes. The YPS Snowtrooper is famous because that's a German comic that gave away a snowtrooper with a sort of action force or machine gun, and that's known as the YPS Snowtrooper. It was a tri-logo snowtrooper just like this one, with the action force gun or the regular rifle there, and that figure is really hard to come by, and is one of the sort of collecting holy grails of vintage Star Wars, the YPS Snowtrooper. And it actually says on the AFA label there, it says 1983 Palitoy Star Wars Tri-Logo Hoth Snowtrooper YPS. So this is the YPS body. This is a YPS Snowtrooper Tri-Logo body. Also, if you notice just there where my thumb is, there's a round little sticker, and this means this version was sold in the Netherlands and Belgium, so it's a Clipper sticker there. And on the back it had the Clipper booklet, but someone ripped it off. You can see just that faint marks where the booklet was, but it's otherwise from that, I mean, it's not in bad condition, this card. And you can see where, so you've got the usual typical tri-logo back, and then if you look to the front again, you can see the Snowtrooper, very white. And let's bring it closer so you can see, if I can show you if I had a regular Snowtrooper, you can compare the two. This one's totally different. If you go on just go Google YPS Snowtrooper and you can find out about it. So this is probably the first time it's been on YouTube, so this is going to be a first. The YPS Snowtrooper, one of the rare variations of this figure, and it looks best on the Tri-Logo cards. It looks better than an Empire Strikes Back card, unless it was on like a foreign card. Then maybe like if it was on a French Meccano card, then that would look better, but otherwise this looks really nice. Card gets 75, bubble 75, figure 85, overall 75. Bubble's got quite a lot of dings at the top, which is typical of Tri-Logo, and but you know, it looks really nice, this item. Looks sweet, man. You've got your YPS Snowtrooper, which was just the Tri-Logo Snowtrooper given away with the comic in Germany, and the main variations on this figure are, as I've said, the cape has rounded holes rather than slits, and the actual sculpting of the figure is different, and the type of plastic used, and the sort of highlights and stuff like that. And I believe that the country of origin's been scraped away on the back leg of this figure as well, and the wide stance of the legs. If you look at the feet, you can see that the feet are quite far apart. So there's your YPS Snowtrooper. You can get this ungraded as well. If I was going to get one ungraded, I'd make sure it has the Action Force machine gun, because that looks pretty cool. So, but now I've got this version, I don't need to get the loose version. Okay, so this is your YPS Snowtrooper, or Tri-Logo Snowtrooper, which is just the Tri-Logo Snowtrooper. Very nice figure, looks really nice. Red background on the card, and nice picture there. So 3 logos. Said this, everyone knows Tri-Logos these days. Once the poor cousin of the other vintage lines, now people are realising how hard these are to find. So, you know, there's a good website called Tri-Logo Info. If you check that out, that's got great stuff about miscards and all the different Tri-Logo cards you can get. Lots of variations on this line, and some really unique cards like the Luke Bespin. So Tri-Logos are, you know, really worth. Well, I'm just babbling now. Anyway, that's your YPS Snowtrooper. Nice figure. Looks great on this card. you know, look at the bubbles, still clear, figure looks minty white, and you know, looks great with that little sticker in the top corner. So there you go, YPS, Clipper, Palitoy, Snow Trooper, sweet item.